Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a quick play. So here we are playing North American NES launch titles. And the title screen right here, 10-Yard Fight. This game released on October 18th, 1985, the first day that the NES came out in the United States. And as you can see here, it's a football game. Let's check it out. And right here, it's one player or two player. So right away, you can play two players on this game. And you have to select your opponent's skill level. You can do your high school team, college, professional, playoff, or Super Bowl, which means you're going to get your ass kicked. We'll put it in the middle, just to be on the safe side. And then we have the music. Oh boy. It kicks the ball off. It's probably one of the most simplistic football games ever made for the NES, but it's probably fun as hell. And check this out. It's my little team right there. They're all walking together, and we have to try to block off this other team because they're going to try to get me. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm dead. What the hell? Alright, so now we have a play right here. I'm not sure exactly how to do this. I never actually played this game before. I'm not big into sports games, but we'll see how this goes. The sound effects are actually pretty cool. I like the sound effects. And I believe that little red line right there on the right side is the first down. I'm not sure, but this football game is actually pretty fun. It looks like it may not be fun, but it's actually not bad. And we're almost at the first down, but I got caught. That's not good. All right, let's try it. This is our only chance right here. Run, 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 run! Yes, we made a first down. We're getting pretty damn close. I'll be honest, I never actually played this game. I never thought I would be having fun playing an old launch football game on the NES, but it's actually pretty fun. I'll tell you what, if I purchased an NES on October 18th, 1985 and got this game, I would be quite satisfied. This game is actually pretty good. So far as good launch games go, the NES is 1-0. Let's check out the next launch game. So our next game on the NES US launch titles are the following. It's baseball. You can see right there, that's the title screen, baseball. That's a bunch of baseballs, look at that. And this appears to be a little demonstration of how the game looks. 88 miles per hour. Wow, that's about the same speed as the DeLorean. Alright, so select your team. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here. A, C, D, P, R. I have no idea what the hell that stands for, but pick something and see what happens. 48 miles per hour. So again, I'm not big into sports games, but apparently the NES had quite a few sports launch titles. And, my favorite baseball game of all time, as you may not already know, I'm pretty sure you do. Great Baseball on the Sega Master System is one of my favorites. So this game better stand up to the standards right there. That game is pretty awesome. So this is quite the basic baseball game. There's nothing really fancy about it, but you know what? For a launch title, it's actually not that bad. You can see the ball's flying out to the field out there. Run! Oh man, I have no idea. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time playing this game. It's not, I'd say it's probably not quite as fun as the football game, but I must say that this game right here is definitely not that bad of a baseball game at all for a launch title for the NES. And if you're into baseball, I will say, what the hell? If you got this game when it first came out, you'll probably be very, very happy with it. And now our next NES launch game in North America is Cuckoo Land. This definitely is probably not a sports game. Let's see what the hell it is. Let's check it out. Alright, so this appears to be some type of, looks like a puzzle game of some sort. This is another one of those games I never actually played before. I'm not sure what the hell this is. That weird looking beast, germ looking thing. I'm not sure what the hell that bug is, but it killed me. It looks like a bug. That kind of plays similar to snakes or Pac-Man or something like that. It's weird. So I would imagine if you're going from, let's say the Atari 2600 to the NES for the first time and you're playing this game, and you know how to play it, you would probably be pretty happy with it. For me, it's a little confusing, so I actually never played it before, but playing it briefly right here, I believe you're supposed to box in those bad guys right there that are floating around the screen. So right now the time ran out. Well, it's running out right now. I accidentally put on 2 players, and I don't have the 2-player controller hooked up, so it is what it is. Appears to be more like a strategy puzzle game than anything. You might like it, you might not. let's just say that NES is 3-0 so far. So it appears to be not that bad of a game. And then we have the oh so famous Duck Hunt. Yeah, they used the light gun for the NES, the Zapper. It's very, very famous. And in this game, basically, what you do is you shoot ducks, or you can play the clay shooting game. And I have no way of playing this game on the controller, so I'm not going to be able to do much. But basically, if you have the light gun, you can shoot. And this game is definitely one of the most popular NES games of all time, so there's no way that you do not know what this game is. And this was a single release on one single cartridge by itself, so it wasn't bundled with Super Mario Brothers at the time on one cartridge. It was actually on its own cartridge. And then we have Excite Bike for the NES. This game was a day one launch game. Everybody knows about this game. This game is awesome. Let's check it out. Yeah, this was the only racing game available for the NES at launch. I'm not sure if it's considered a racing game or not, but I just overheated. What the hell? So you see, it's a very, very simple motocross, motorcycle type game, and it's actually very fun to play, as you already know. The graphics are very simplistic on it, but the gameplay is actually really, really awesome. I mean, this really set the standards for a lot of NES games. Just to give you an idea, this game was so good that later on the SNES, they actually came out with an online service that featured a variation of Excite Bike that had various different Nintendo characters that you can only play. I think it was only in Japan, but you had to use some type of an online service to play it. And then they had Excite Bike on the Nintendo 64, which probably wasn't as good as this one right here. And then they had Excite Truck and Excite Bots on the Wii console. That was basically based off of Excite Truck. I mean, Excite Bike status. Sorry about that. But Excite Bikes is the originator of the Excite series. It's actually a very, very awesome game. And then we have Golf for the NES. Look at that. Game released in 1985 on the first launch date of the NES in North America. I vividly remember playing this game. This game is actually not that bad. You can change your clubs right here. And you can use the little arrow right there and see what we can do here. Now, I'm not sure if that's Super Mario or not, but if it is, he's packing the pounds. Look at that. Lay off the donuts, fat ass. So basically how the game plays is just like any other golf game. In fact, this game might have set the standards because you just have to use that little bar and the little arrow right there just to try to get your ball to where it needs to go. Push the button twice. And slowly but surely you'll make it inside the hole. So here we have Robot Gyro, which is actually a game called Gyro Might. And I believe what this game you're supposed to use Robbie the Robot, which I believe that came with the NES on the launch. Let me see here. I'm not sure if you can actually play this game without the robot. You can try it out. Never played it before. Well, it definitely looks like you might need the robot. Not sure. So this is what the game looks like. I'm not sure exactly how to play the game, to be honest. I never actually played any of the Robbie the Robot games. One thing that's interesting about the NES is that it came out after the video game crash. So imagine all the video games that existed before the NES came out. The industry is oversaturated with really bad games. And then all of a sudden the NES comes out, and on the launch, day one launch, you have like a whole bunch of really, really good games. It's pretty crazy. And then we have Hogan's Alley on the NES. And so far, there's really not one bad game on the NES for launch, day one launch. And this appears to be another light gun game. So it's a shoot gangs only, so it's definitely a light gun game. So day one launch, the NES had at least 2 light gun games, which is actually pretty impressive. So there's a lot of variety of different sports games, light gun games, plenty of strategy, puzzle type games. There's actually a total of, I think, 17 launch titles, which is quite a bit. Pretty damn awesome. Here we have Ice Climber for the NES. I do remember playing this. Game is pretty awesome. Let's check it out. This is definitely one of my favorite launch games on the NES. And it's sort of like a platformer puzzle type game. You have to knock out little blocks right here, and you can imagine back then this must have been like freaking amazing to play on the NES after you owned an Atari 2600. Because the graphics look so damn good. The actual gameplay itself is actually pretty unique. You have to actually knock out the blocks and make it to the top. And check this out. The graphics are very, very amazing. This might be one of the most beautiful launch titles on the NES. Probably the best looking one in my opinion. And the gameplay is really, really nice. You have to make it to the top. Let's get up there. You have 30 something seconds. What the hell? I fell. So that's basically Ice Climber on the NES. Very good game. It's actually still very much playable today. Very awesome platformer puzzle type game. Very, very fun. Very nice graphics. Probably the best looking launch title in my opinion for the NES. And then we have Kung Fu for the NES. How can anyone forget this? Kung Fu came out on day one for the NES. Look at the title screen right there. Then we have the guy right here, ready to kick ass. Ooh, take that. Ooh, oh. How do you like that, bitch? This game had probably the most action in it. It's pretty much a fighting platformer type game. And this game had plenty of action to keep you playing your NES for a long time. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, take that. Yeah, how do you like that? Get off of me. What the hell? Now this game is pretty damn awesome. Kick people in the face. How do you like that? Yeah. You don't want to buy NES? Well, take this. You want to buy a Sega Master System? Well, I'm going to punch you in your fucking face. That's what you get for not buying NES. Yeah, what the hell? So this game is pretty damn awesome, as you can see there. One of the better launch titles on the NES. And I don't think NES had any bad launch titles so far. It's actually pretty interesting. So the NES also had a launch title, Pinball. It's a pinball game. And I guess for NES standards, it actually looks pretty good. It's not that bad. I mean, look at it. It's quite basic. But again, if you do like pinball, I mean, this game might be definitely the game for you to buy at launch. We have Player 1. Alright. So how do you play this game? Alright. So let's check it out, see if it actually plays as good as real pinball. It's a little slow paced, but it's not bad. The graphics are a little bland on it, but you know what? The gameplay is actually pinballish. It's actually exactly the way it should be. It's not bad at all. You have your square on the side. At first glance, you probably don't want to give it a chance, but when you play it, it's actually pretty fun. Here we are playing soccer for the NES. Look at that. Very, very colorful title screen is. Oof. Don't look at that too long. You might get a seizure. Alright, let's pick our character right here. I do remember playing this game previously, and I was actually quite surprised on the animation of the ball and the characters. They're actually pretty good. And for some reason today, my NES decides that it's going to have a graphical glitch on this game, so, you know, usually when that happens, you have to tap the cartridge, you have to blow into things, and, you know the whole deal. But, as you can see, you can still see the characters and the ball moving around, and the animation is actually very, very impressive for a launch title. Just make sure that your cartridge is not freaking dirty, or you're going to end up like me. So here we have Stack Up, or Robot Block, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's another launch game on the NES in North America. And this definitely requires Robbie the Robot, so I'm not even sure we can play the game. And I think out of all the NES launch games, this one has the most fanciest selection screen right here. It actually has really nice animation on it. Look at that. So with this game, you're supposed to use the robot somehow. I'm not sure what the hell you're supposed to do with this game, but you need the robot in order to play this game. And the most famous launch title of them all, Super Mario Brothers. You can see here, this is the title screen right here. You definitely know what this game looks like. This is probably the most popular NES game of all time, and this game came out day one. I mean, here it is, that famous NES music. And it's probably the most famous game of all time. And it definitely set the standards for platformers. I could play this game all day long. That's how awesome this game is. If you got this game on day one for NES, you are set. You don't have to get any other games for a long time. This game is freaking awesome. And here we are playing tennis on the NES. I mean, look at that tennis. Look at that title screen. Tennis. Alright, so we're going to play tennis on the NES. Over here, this is a launch title for the NES. Select the level, and here we are playing tennis. Check this shit out. Let's try to hit the ball. Hit the ball, you son of a bitch. And you see Mario sitting up on the chair up there. Your fault. It's basically my fault that I didn't hit the ball. There we go. Yeah, this is probably one of the best tennis games of all time. It's easy to play. Nothing complicated about it. And there you go. So the NES had quite a few sports games, and this is definitely one of the better ones. For launch, it had probably like 3 or 4 sports games. So right away, you were getting all kinds of good stuff. The video game industry in North America was oversaturated with bad games at one point, to the point where we had a crash. Then all of a sudden, the NES came out. It's like, holy shit, this is freaking awesome. It resurrected the video game industry back out of the hole that was in. And here we are playing a Wild Gunman on the NES, another launch title. I believe this might have been a light gun game. Yeah, I can probably tell that it is. So we don't have a light gun, so we're probably not going to be able to really play it. I believe you're supposed to shoot that guy. Look, he's going to fire. Poof. Yeah, that's it, you lost. I got shot. Son of a bitch. This ugly looking bastard. Go back to Custer's Revenge on Atari 2600 and get the hell out of my face. And then we have Wrecking Crew for the NES. Our final launch title for the NES, and just as I suspected, there is absolutely no bad launch title on the NES. It's actually pretty damn impressive. This game right here appears to be something similar to Donkey Kong, as you can see here. Sort of like a puzzle game. You just have to go around smashing things. It's pretty freaking awesome. Look at that. This is the computer playing it right here. And I tell you, if you were standing in line to purchase an NES, you're not going to be disappointed. Back in 1985, if I could go back in time and buy an NES at launch, I would. What a great console. What a great launch lineup. Very, very impressive. And then soon afterwards, there's plenty of great games that came out afterwards. I mean, the NES pretty much set the standards in the United States and North America. And then all of a sudden, we had Genesis, Super Nintendo. We had a lot of different consoles coming out that were awesome. I mean, what a great launch. The NES, you are awesome.
Quick play!